The story begins with one of the most dramatic and intense moments of this ongoing conflict. On a dark night, 93 Ukrainian drones stormed toward Moscow in what would become one of the most coordinated and relentless strikes seen so far. The attack unfolded like a scene from a war movie, with the capital of Russia suddenly plunged into fear and chaos. Sirens screamed across the city, the night sky was lit with fire and flashes, and the ordinary rhythm of life was shattered in a matter of seconds. For many Moscow residents, it was the first time they had experienced such an overwhelming sense of vulnerability in their own city. The capital, which was always considered a fortress guarded by some of the most sophisticated air defense systems in the world, suddenly felt exposed and fragile. This is where our story begins, because this wasn't just another attack. This was a turning point that made the world realize how deeply modern warfare has changed and how drones are rewriting the rules of conflict in the 21st century. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Future X USA channel. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video so you don't miss our detailed breakdowns of major global events. Today we are going to take you step by step through what happened in Moscow when those 93 drones appeared in the sky, and how this single night of chaos exposed the strengths and weaknesses of both sides in ways that cannot be ignored. From the outside, the exterior of this event looked like nothing less than an apocalypse. Moscow's skyline, usually calm with glowing towers and golden domes, was torn apart by streaks of fire and smoke. Drones, small in size but massive in impact, swarmed across the horizon. They came in waves, some flying low to evade detection, others darting through the air like mechanical predators. Each explosion illuminated the night with a terrifying glow, and videos circulating online captured the chaos in real time. For residents, the exterior appearance of the city was transformed into a battlefield. High-rise apartments shook from the impact of blasts. Cars sounded alarms as shockwaves passed through the streets, and emergency lights painted the roads red and blue. It was not just an attack. It was a spectacle of fear designed to send a clear message. Nowhere is untouchable anymore. Inside the city, the interior experience was one of pure panic. Families rushed into underground shelters, metro stations became improvised bunkers, and basements were filled with frightened residents glued to their phones for updates. The interior atmosphere was suffocating because people were hearing the booms of explosions right above their heads, the whirring of engines in the sky, and the terrifying echoes of air defense missiles intercepting targets. Children were crying, parents were trying to calm them down, and the sense of safety that a capital city is supposed to provide was destroyed in an instant. In a psychological sense, the attack didn't just target infrastructure, it invaded the minds of millions. People's sense of control vanished and fear replaced confidence. The interior of Moscow became a city in shock, where every sound in the night felt like another incoming strike. When we analyze the performance of this attack, it becomes clear why this event shook not only Russia but also the entire world. The performance of the Ukrainian drones was based on one simple principle: overwhelming numbers. 93 drones flying at once is not just an attack. It is a strategy designed to saturate and overwhelm. Russia has advanced air defenses like Pantsir systems and the S-400, systems that are supposed to intercept incoming threats with precision. But the performance of the drones exposed a fatal weakness. No matter how strong your defense, when the sky is filled with nearly 100 moving targets, even the best systems can be stretched to their limits. Reports indicate that many drones were intercepted, but several still broke through and struck targets, proving that performance in warfare is not always about technology. Sometimes it is about numbers, coordination, and timing. Ukraine's strategy worked because the swarm effect magnified the power of each individual drone, turning them into an unstoppable wave. On the other hand, the safety features of Moscow's defense were pushed to the edge. For years, Russia has promoted its capital as one of the most secure cities in the world, shielded by multiple layers of air defense. Yet on that night, those safety features looked fragile. The systems fired interceptors, and indeed many drones were shot down. But the sheer chaos caused by debris falling from the sky, the panic among civilians, and the fire sparked by drones that slipped through, proved that safety was more of an illusion than a guarantee. The sirens did their job of warning, but for ordinary people, What safety really meant was huddling underground and hoping nothing would hit their homes. The lesson here is that modern safety features can defend against isolated threats, but struggle against swarms. This is why militaries across the world are now rethinking what it really means to protect the capital city. The unique selling points of this attack are critical to understand. Drones have changed the face of warfare because they are cheap, effective, and capable of being launched in massive numbers. The unique advantage for Ukraine is that these drones cost only thousands of dollars each, while the missiles used to intercept them cost hundreds of thousands. This creates a huge imbalance in cost effectiveness. For Ukraine, every dollar spent brings a massive return in terms of disruption and fear. For Russia, every missile fired at a drone is an expensive act of desperation. Another unique feature is the psychological impact. Unlike traditional missiles, drones buzz and hover, creating a constant sense of unease. They do not just strike once and disappear. They linger, they swarm, they force people to live in fear minute by minute. This psychological power may be even more damaging than the physical destruction itself. When we talk about the price, we have to look beyond the financial numbers and consider the human and political cost. The drones themselves are relatively cheap. Some cost as little as a few $1,000s, while intercepting them can drain millions from the Russian defense budget. But the real price is measured in fear, instability, and loss of credibility. Moscow has always been portrayed as untouchable, a fortress city. That image has now been shattered. The price of this attack is not just the burned buildings or the intercepted drones. It is the loss of faith among citizens, the embarrassment for the government, and the realization that the war has reached the very heart of Russia. For Ukraine, the price paid to launch these drones is small compared to the massive ripple effect they caused, both inside Russia and across the global stage. As we reach our conclusion, it is important to reflect on what this night means. The ambush of 93 drones over Moscow was not only a military operation, it was a symbolic act. It told the world that no city is beyond reach. The exterior chaos showed how fragile even the strongest capitals can become when faced with new forms of warfare. The interior fear demonstrated the psychological damage that drones can inflict on ordinary people. The performance of the swarm strategy highlighted the power of numbers over advanced technology. The safety features of Moscow's defenses were exposed as limited, showing that even billion-dollar systems can be overwhelmed. The unique selling points of drones, their affordability, effectiveness, and psychological impact prove that they are more than just weapons, they are instruments of modern strategy. The price paid was small for Ukraine, but enormous for Russia in terms of cost, credibility, and confidence. In the end, Moscow turned into what witnesses called hell on earth, and this event marked a new chapter in the war. The world is now watching closely because the lessons learned here will shape the future of defense and warfare everywhere. For Ukraine, it was a demonstration of resilience and innovation. For Russia, it was a wake-up call that no fortress is truly safe. For the rest of the world, it was a reminder that the battlefield of tomorrow will not be fought only with tanks and jets, but with swarms of small machines capable of rewriting the balance of power. The night Moscow burned under the shadow of 93 drones will be remembered as a night when the future of warfare arrived.